Alright, Shalom. First and foremost, all praises, glory, and honor unto the Most High Power, Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai. Double honors unto the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone that rule very well. Shalom, peace, mercy, blessings unto you sincere brothers that's out there pushing this word without a break and without fluttering on the doctrine. I am Tabwa Amath of Great Millstone Northwest, and I want to do not necessarily a lesson. This is a video that is going to contain some of the comments that was posted on this video, which is the Apostles of GMS High Priest Yarah on the comment board from the Breaking Strongholds 1 account, which this was the first part of that series, last week's studio session with the Apostles of Great Millstone. Okay, now the comments, as you see, there's 116 comments, yet we cannot view 116 comments. For whatever reason, YouTube is not allowing, no matter what, they're not allowing all the comments to be shown. But it's fine because I've actually screenshotted the comments on my phone, my cell phone. So there's a lot more comments than what is shown, and for whatever reason, it's not allowing me to see them on the computer. And I also use a secondary device to try to look up at these comments, and I wasn't able to do it. The comments would have been found under this right here, Matatawa Israel. Under his comments was where this where the conversation took place. Okay, and pretty much the basics of it is that Paul Gawiyam Marco from Great Millstone Seattle, or I'm sorry, Sicarii Seattle. That was Satan. From Sicarii Seattle. He was making a lot of comments, but within those comments, and of course brothers and elders was responding to him, but inside of those comments, he ended up telling himself that he had a hand in the situation that happened in Seattle with the brother Yarah getting hit. Alright, he ended up disclosing that information, which he kind of tries to dance around it by not giving a direct response to it. But we'll go through the comments and you can see for yourself. So again, this is what the screen should look like. It should say Matatawa Israel, and then it should say earlier replies, but as you see, it doesn't let you see anything right here under the replies of Matatawa Israel. Okay, so earlier replies, it's this very long thread, because brothers was getting on this guy, and then another scoffer, Freddy Krueger, jumped on, and then eventually Sicarii Seattle jumped on. And there's a lengthy conversation, but this is really where I wanna focus in on the part about what happened in Seattle, which brothers is all aware of the situation that took place with Seattle, and then the GMS No Cowards whole situation and everything like that. So this is really where it starts. It starts with a comment left by Great Millstone Baltimore 2, Great Millstone Baltimore 3, and they are speaking to Sicarii Seattle, which again, they don't, Sicarii Seattle, they never come out and tell me if it's actually Marco that's doing the typing, which I believe it is, because the other guy that's in Sicarii Seattle, whose name is Brian, he calls himself Wabia or some nonsense. He's not elegant when he's typing. Alright, he's not elegant when he's typing whatsoever. But Sicarii Seattle, as you see how it is here, That is way better formulated sentence than what Brian can put together. So I believe that this is Marco. It's possible it could have been Alizé at some points, but I don't know why Alizé would be using this Sicarii Seattle account and not his own account. All right, and, the only one that actually hides behind pages and whatnot really is Marco, because I think Brian would have exposed himself to be, Brian or whatever. Anyway, GMS Baltimore 2 post to Sicarii Seattle. Don't talk tough behind the keyboard when your daddy's a flaming faggot, which GMS Baltimore 2, whichever brother was using this page, he was thinking that Sicarii Seattle, that he was speaking with Alizé, which he's not, alright, which Sicarii Seattle even responds and says to GMS Baltimore 2, GMS Baltimore 3, this ain't Alizar, and this is where he pretty much tells on himself. Quiet as kept. I know someone who knocked out that white boy for talking tough. I'm a firm believer in Proverbs 18:6. Now, Proverbs 18:6 reads, "A fool's lips enter into contention, and his mouth calleth for strokes." All right, and there's multiple times inside this thread that he posted Proverbs 18:6. Another common one that he liked to post was Proverbs 28:1. The wicked fleeth when no man pursueth, but the righteous are bold as a lion. Okay, so like, let me pull it back up. It says, quiet as kept. I know someone who knocked out that white boy for talking tough. I'm a firm believer in Proverbs 18:6. So he just admits that he knows who came up and caused all that shit that happened back in Seattle, man. All right, he just admitted that he knows who did it, which we all believe anyway, that Marco set it up. Alizar had a hand in it. All right, Brian wasn't even with Sicarii at the time, and if he was extremely irrelevant. So Brian, rest easy, man. We know that you're not good enough to be able to set anything up, man. So, you know what I'm saying, you're off the hook. Although you're still a demon, you know what I'm saying, you're still a demon, but you're off the hook. We don't think that you had a hand in setting up the Seattle situation. Who did have a hand for sure, that we do know had a hand in that situation, is Marco and Alizé. All right, Alizé he'll deny it, of course. They all deny it, saying they didn't have a part to do with it. They didn't do anything. They didn't, you know what I'm saying? They won't admit it. Like men admitting, you know what I'm saying, the actions that they took, they're not going to admit it. But the Most High knows, of course, the Most High knows. So he makes this comment in which the brother, one of the brothers using the account, GMS Ancient of Days, shalom to you brothers out there, down in Cali. GMS Ancient of Days responds to Sicarii Seattle saying, "So you know the dude that hit that brother?" Shake my head, right? Which then I respond to him saying, of course he knows who did it. He set the whole thing up. We patiently wait for the day that Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai repays vengeance on all those reprobate demons. Romans 12:19, which Romans 12:19 reads, "Dearly beloved, avenge not yourselves, but rather give place unto wrath, for it is written, vengeance is mine, I will repay, saith the Lord." So the Lord's going to actually deal with these people, man. The Lord's going to deal with the whole Sicarii movement. He's going to deal with that dude fucking Marco. He's going to deal with Brian. He's going to deal with Alizé. He's going to deal with any of the other dudes that's condoning them, cheering them on, or is a part of them. That whole Sicarii thing, man. Right? So back to the comments. It says, well, that's what I posted, right? And then Sicarii immediately posts to me saying, he says, Proverbs 18:6, shut up, little one. Which again, going back to Proverbs 18:6, that's a fool's lips enter into contention and his mouth calleth for strokes. So he's pretty much hiding behind this scripture saying that because of what Yarah was saying, back when we used to teach in Seattle, you know, that it called for strokes, right? That's basically what that's why he keeps reposting the scripture over and over, right? Okay, so shut up, little one. And then I say, be a man for once in your life and admit that you pulled the strings to make that happen, right? He says back to me, he says, multiple people run this account and don't listen to the rumors, kiddo. And I say, Marco set it up, Alazar commissioned it. Maybe it is the other way around, who cares? You're all guilty. My question is, if you are so into having strokes put to a fool's mouth, why didn't you do it yourself? Okay? And then Sicarii Seattle says to me, government names, why be a snitch and name drop? Which your name's already fucking, your name is dirty, man. Don't nobody care about your fucking name, Marco or Brian, for that matter. Nobody cares about you guys' name. Nobody cares about you guys, man. All right. The only reason you get any mention is because you guys are such fucking demons on the comment board, man. If you guys wasn't coming on the comment board trying to cause strife, you know what I'm saying, coming on the comment board with all your stupid fucking nonsense, nobody would even make mention of you people, man. All right, because you guys are not important. All right, Marco. All right, Brian. You guys are not important. So he says, why be a snitch and name drop? And then he says that you're lost. You have no clue, Beetlejuice, right? So I respond to him and say, your tarnished ass name is already known throughout Israel, which it is. All right, that isn't even important. Stop dancing around the topic of you, Marco, setting up that shit that happened in Seattle. And then he says to me, you don't even know who you're talking to. I said you're lost, bro. You're dismissed. Which, even if I wasn't talking to Marco, that's why I put it right here in parentheses that it was Marco that had the shit set up. All right. So I don't care if I was actually talking to Marco or not. I know that it was Marco that had it set up, man. He had a major hand to do it. And if I wasn't talking to Marco, then I would have had to been talking to Brian, which Brian cannot. He doesn't even spell out the word you. He would just put you right there. See, I've seen enough comments from you guys to be able to tell the difference. I'm pretty sure everybody can tell the difference from when they're talking to damn Marco and talking to Brian, man. All right, and let me say this to the brothers that's listening to this video, that we know these guys personally, man. We know Marcella and we know Broken Bones Brian, Broken Bones Barnes. We know that guy personally. All right, we know these people. So it says you're lost, bro. You're dismissed, as if they got authority to dismiss anybody, right? So I say, also, why didn't you do it yourself, right? Which he tells me, Sicarii Seattle, whoever it was that was doing all this, he says, I'm not carnal, I'm a spiritual man, okay? Which is quite funny because he's the one, he's not carnal. He didn't do it himself because he's not carnal. He's a spiritual man, yet he's the one that keeps hollering about having the strokes put to a fool's mouth, as in accordance to Proverbs 18:6, that a fool's lips enter into contention, that his mouth calleth for strokes. Now, in this thread, he's posted this multiple times. He maybe posted that scripture about 3 or 4 times, possibly. Okay, he definitely posted it more than twice. All right, about the fool's mouth needing strokes, and yet he wouldn't do it himself because he's not carnal. He's a spiritual man. All right. Now we know that Marco runs away from the fight. Brian's ass is actually dumb enough to head in, you know what I'm saying, to charge in head first. Marco, he's not a fighter. He's never been a fighter, ever. He's always shied away from the fight and tried to get other people to do his dirty work, which is exactly the situation that happened down in Seattle. Okay, so then he says he's a spiritual man, but he asked me, he says, are you familiar with the mutual combat law? Thinking that that's some big scoff or whatever. Okay, so then I respond to him asking, Brian or Marco? Asking which one am I talking to, Brian or Marco? Those are the only two in Seattle. So if this isn't Marco, then that leaves Broken Bones. Don't be a coward, identify yourself, which they never did, by the way. And then they tell me, shut up, Dorf. Men are talking here. because he was dealing with there was other comments that was going on. I wasn't the only brother that was commenting to them. All right. So then he responds to Yahweh Clyde saying, "Answer my question. Stop being afraid," which is basically exactly what I'm telling him. Answer my question and stop being afraid. Stop being a coward and identify yourself. All right. So Apostle Gabar gets on the thread and says, 1 Samuel's 26:9, because Apostle Gabar and Sicarii Seattle was having their own dialogue going on as well. So 1 Samuel's 26:9, and David said to Abishai, Salakia, destroy him not, for who can stretch forth his hand against the Lord's anointed and be guiltless? If you had a hand in Yarah getting sucker punch, you in trouble, Jack. All right. So then I respond saying, spineless cowards, you won't answer me because you know you're guilty of setting Yarah up. I know this is Marco. Brian can't type proper sentences, but he at least would have revealed himself by now. Okay. And then Apostle Gabar asked him, saying, if you're a spiritual man, who's Joshua the high priest of Zechariah 3:1 reincarnated today? So Sicarii Seattle responds saying, what does Proverbs 18:6 mean? Which, one more time, I might as well show you that Proverbs 18:6 says that a fool's lips enter into contention in his mouth, call it for strokes. Okay. So he said, what does Proverbs 18:6 mean? Furthermore, he challenged all of downtown Seattle to a fight. So who's the carnal one? All right, and this is what he responded to Apostle Gabar, which Apostle Gabar reposted what he just said and says, so if he did that, do you render evil for evil? According to 1 Thessalonians 5:15, saying, see that none render evil for evil unto any man, but ever follow that which is good, both among yourselves and to all men. And then he also posts saying, the Lord said, let your yea be yea, your nay be nay. Anything more said is of evil. Matthew 5:37. But let your communication be yea, yea, nay, nay. For whatsoever is more than these cometh evil. And he asked, now did you have a hand in Yarah getting sucker punched? Yea or nay? At this point, Sicarii Seattle never responds. They realize that they're pretty much trapped up and that they're in a straightforward yes or no. Did you you know what I'm saying, did you pull the strings or not? So they never respond after this. Okay. So Apostle Gabar post says, furthermore, he challenged all of downtown Seattle to a fight, which is something that Sicarii posted. He says, and you and your goons obliged him, right, Mr. Spiritual Man? 1 Peter 3:9, not rendering evil for evil or railing for railing, but contrariwise blessing, knowing that ye are that ye are thereunto called, that ye should inherit blessing. Right? So Apostle Gabar responds to me and says, you got him guilty, because you know he is guilty, which is the water apostle. And I respond saying, Con Apostle, Psalms 7:14, behold, he travaileth with iniquity and have conceived mischief and brought forth falsehood. He made a pit and digged it and is fallen into the ditch which he made. His mischief shall return upon his own head, and his violent dealings shall come down upon his own pate. The day is quickly coming when he will pay for what he has done. And that is absolutely correct. So I wanted to be able to share this part of the comment board, revealing that because you're not able to see it anymore. That's the only reason I even made this video. If you were able to see it, I would have left it be. But because you're not even able to see it anymore on the comment board, I wanted to reveal that this guy pretty much admits that he has something to do, or he knows what happened with that whole thing that went down in Seattle. Okay, so yeah, that was the purpose of this video. So with that, I'm gonna say shalom.